Hi, gang, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel. A very quick update from a couple of days ago. I had posted a video about how uh, Henry Cavill had gotten the unfortunate news that he was not going to be continuing as Superman with the DC cinematic universe, and how they kind of did him dirty in this after they kind of brought him back to do some shoots in October for Black Adam. Had him Gave him the green light to announce back in October that he was going to. Actually, I guess it was in November when Black Adam came out. He was able to announce that he was back as Superman, and was very excited about that. And then DC Zaslav hired James Gunn and the other guy whose name eludes me, to kind of fix the DC cinematic universe. And one of the first things they decided to do was to basically sounds like they're doing a hard reboot. So uh, they had a meeting with Cavill, and Cavill was out. And Gunn is going to do a Superman movie with a young Superman. I can wait. I mean, can't. So, anyways, whatever the fuck's happening with DC, I I kind of at the point I don't care. They've dicked around for 10 years now. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they're going to have to. And look, I am a comic book freak. I love comics. I've loved them. I learned to read with comics. If I'm at a point where someone like me is like, I don't give a shit what's coming out from Marvel or DC, um, you're gonna have to convince me. You have to convince me really, really hard that I want to see this movie, that I want to read this comic. Um, that's not a great place for them to be in. I think that they've still got a lot of, forgive me for using the term normie folks on board, at least with Marvel. But I also think that a lot of those folks are going away. They are getting tired of the formula. They're getting tired of the quality of what they've been given. And I think that shows in the performance of a lot of the recent Marvel and DC products. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's not what this is about. What this is really about is a really exciting announcement. So Thursday, I made that video. I was really bummed out. And then my good friend David, I have two good friends named. Actually, I'm sure I have more than two good friends named David, but there's two primary great friends named David. One of them is the godfather of my kids. He sent me a message, an article from Thursday night that really made me happy, and shared it on my social media. And I wanted to do a follow up since I did the last video, and the last video was pretty darkety, dark. So I wanted to give you guys something a little more optimistic. So this article is coming from Variety. They're just fantastic at Variety. Yeah, here we go. Variety. Henry Cavill to star in and executive produce Warhammer 40,000 franchise for Amazon. Hot diggity damn. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff in this Variety article that is inaccurate. And well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There is some information in this Variety article that is in conflict with other sources. So I'm going to hit those as we go through the high points of this. It's not like Variety doesn't have a history of kind of glossing over certain things when it comes to fan culture. But here's the first part. After losing DC's Superman and Netflix The Witcher, Henry Cavill is plunging right back into the world of genre entertainment, attaching himself to an adaptation of the popular tabletop game Warhammer 40,000. Okay, let's just start with that right there. That's, to my understanding, At least, well, actually, to my understanding, that is inaccurate. Cavill was attached to The Witcher. He is a huge fanboy of the Witcher books and the Witcher games. The folks who were doing the show running for The Witcher, the first showrunner left. And as he was on his way out the door, and I believe he's the guy who they got to do the animated X-Men 97 reboot, the kind of the continuation reboot of the 97 X-Men cartoon. He said that one of the things that was kind of like key to his writing room for X-Men was going to be that you love and respect the material. And he is quoted as citing that the folks in The Witcher's writing room, many of them mocked and derided the source material for The Witcher, and quite a few of them just outright hated it. So, from all I've been able to discern from multiple sources, Cavill had the option to continue his contract after season 3, and he chose not to do that. And the primary reason he did so was because the people putting the Witcher show together were taking it in a direction that he did not feel was being authentic to the material. And Cavill has been quoted. He's done interviews where he's basically said that he understands why, what some people call toxic fandom, he calls passionate fandom. People who are really invested in these things, and then those things get done in a way that doesn't really resemble the source material. So I don't think that Cavill was fired from The Witcher. Far from it, considering that the current showrunner has gone on record as basically begging people to stick around and mentioning that she was really disappointed that Henry Cavill left as well, and begging folks to stick around for season 3. And so there'll be a season 4 post Cavill. And so that the spinoff that they've put out on Netflix, which is apparently getting ratioed pretty badly, has a fighting chance. So Variety, he didn't lose The Witcher; he walked away from it. Now, Superman is a different deal. I mentioned earlier, basically what appears to have happened was, and I did want to clarify one thing. And again, this is rumor and speculation. We may never know the actual fact of the matter, but one of the guys I watch, one of the channels I do watch is Doomcock, Dictor van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and which I gotta say, he's pretty entertaining. He really is, and he seems to have some pretty good sources. He's been right more times than he's been wrong. That being said, it's all still rumor and speculation, and he does a lot of stuff where it's like, I can't name my sources. And to be quite honest, that makes sense. If you're in Hollywood and you're telling some guy in like a Dr. Doom mask what's going on with the production you're on, you're gonna have to keep that shit quiet. If they find out who you are, they're going to fire you. And that happens once, and it's going to be really hard for you to find work elsewhere. So what Doomcock reported on last Thursday, was that the decision had been Zaslav's, and that James Gunn was kind of like the guy who had to drop the axe. It was not his decision directly. It came from Zaslav. I don't know if that's the case or not, because James Gunn has an ego, and James Gunn has a spotty history in Hollywood. One of the things that pisses me off a little bit is he knows what it's like to be canceled. He got canceled hard a couple of years ago, and he came back because he's a very talented guy, and he does good work. Like I mentioned before, one of the few things that Marvel has in the pipe that I am even remotely interested in going to see is Guardians 3. I loved the Suicide Squad. I loved his Suicide Squad. Even though it did not make a lot of money, but it was a good movie, and it respected the characters, it respected the universe, and that goes a long way with me. So for the sake of being, putting everything out there is a rumor out there that that this was more of a Zaslav decision than a James Gunn, and I feel so bad I can't remember the other guy's name, but the two guys who basically been put in charge of the universe. I also think that I can also see James Gunn doing a little Grima worm tongue and kind of like being like in Zaslav's ear and being like, I could just rewrite you another Superman movie from scratch, and we could just, think how much money we'll save not having to pay all those expensive salaries to Gal Gadot and is it Godot or Godot? I've heard both. And Jason Momoa and is it Momoa or Momoa? I'm just, anyways. And we can get rid of that freak Ezra Miller too. Yeah, so and Amber Heard. Yeah. So like most things, it's probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both in there. I just wanted to throw that out there. So basically, Cavill did lose the Superman job. He was fired from it. But what's beautiful is, and this is one of the reasons that I am such a cheerleader for Henry Cavill. I have heard that Henry Cavill is really hard to work with. That is usually, for me, when I hear that, it means one of two things. One, it either means they're a raving nut job, which Henry Cavill really hasn't shown that in any of his interviews or things like that. Or it means that he has standards. He has standards, and when those standards aren't met, he makes fuss about it. And anybody in any job that gives a fuck about their job understands what that's like. Sometimes you have to say, whoa, 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 we're not doing it that way. And I think that's it with that whole, Henry Cavill is hard to work with. It means he doesn't just like nod and take the paycheck like a lot of these folks do, regardless of whatever crap they're having to spew out of their pie hole. So anyways, back, I'm sorry, Variety. I didn't mean to interrupt you there in the middle of being inaccurate. But after losing DC's Superman and Netflix The Witcher, Henry Cavill is plunging right back into the world of genre entertainment, attaching himself to an adaptation of the popular tabletop game Warhammer 40,000. Cavill will star in and executive produce the franchise for Amazon Prime Video, which acquired the global rights for the IP from Games Workshop. Now, I used to own game stores. Those of you who are not familiar with Warhammer or Games Workshop, it is like the frickin' Microsoft of gaming. Games Workshop is a monster. It's been around forever. It's out of the UK. They do miniature games. They do comics. They do like all kind of hobby stuff: terrain, paints, brushes, green stuff, which is a little sculpting putty, novels. Actually, interesting little crossover. Kind of a little side crossover here is some of the Dan Abnett, one of the guys who writes a lot of, or wrote, I think he still does, write a lot of the Games Workshop novels, which sell a lot. This is a huge fan base, and it's an international fan base. Dan Abnett has written some of the better novels. He's also written Guardians of the Galaxy comic books for Marvel. Matter of fact, a lot of the stuff that they kind of borrowed when Gunn started doing Guardians, a lot of his kind of foundational material from the comic books was from Dan Abnett's comic books, which incidentally Dan Abnett has a connection to Warhammer 40,000. So small world, huh? Anyways, Games Workshop is huge. It's a monster, and the folks who are really into Games Workshop are the term fan comes from fanatic. There are a lot of fanatical Games Workshop folks. It has a huge following, and Cavill's one of them. Excuse me. He basically has been involved in Warhammer as a hobby for a long time, and he's mentioned many times that he would love to see something like this done as a live action kind of thing. So they got the rights from Games Workshop, they got the rights from Games Workshop to Amazon Prime Video. The agreement includes the Warhammer 40,000 rights across film, TV, and more, making it the first major acquisition of its kind for Amazon Studios. Games Workshop will continue making the popular minifigures for the tabletop game. Warhammer 40,000 is set in the far future, where humanity stands at the edge of what might be its brightest future or its darkest age. There's no brightest future. That's I don't know what that is, but it is a very dark gothic universe. It reminds me a little bit of Dune, if you're a fan of the Dune books. It's almost like a technological dark age. The threats to humankind's empire are many. Traitors driven by the fires of ambition, alien empires sworn to reclaim the stars, and the corruption of reality by malevolent gods, the release says. I have loved Warhammer since I was a boy, making this moment truly special for me. The opportunity to shepherd this cinematic universe from its inception is quite the honor and the responsibility, Cavill said in a statement, which I have a statement, his Instagram statement, which is pretty awesome. And it's just as cool as his kind of goodbye statement when he made the announcement that he wasn't going to be playing Superman anymore. Let's see. Vertigo Entertainment's Roy Lee and Natalie Bacuzzo worked with Cavill to obtain the Warhammer 40,000 IP before taking it to Amazon Studios. Vertigo will executive produce with Cavill and Games Workshop's Andy Smiley and Max Borchrill alongside Amazon Studios. Warhammer 40,000 has captured the imagination of fans of all ages from all walks of life and all over the world, said Jennifer Salke, head of Amazon and MGM Studios. All right, that right there sends a cold chill down my spine. Jennifer Salke is the creative visionary who gave us Rings of Power. So if you're a fan of Rings of Power, sorry. Jennifer Salke being anywhere within 100 miles of anything gives me some pause. But we are excited to work with Henry, Vertigo Entertainment, and Games Workshop across our Amazon entertainment businesses on this brilliant, immersive franchise for our global customers to experience for years to come. All right, I'm going to say this right now too, and this is not the real focus of this video. I'll probably do more on this as it develops. Warhammer is how would they say it in the trade? Butch. Warhammer is a butch-ass universe. It's full of giant genetically engineered space marines battling space monsters. There's a immortal undead human emperor that is holding all the demonic forces of chaos at bay with his will alone. It is kind of like the Dark Ages. It's like a techno dark age, and it is really a cool universe and has a really rich lore. It's really, I mean, I'm really excited for this. I just hope that they don't decide to what is the current parlance? Envision it for a modern audience and all that usually entails. Sorry, I've just been burned so many fucking times. Like I said, I have zero interest in what DC and Marvel got coming for the most part. And whatever they do have coming, they're gonna have to convince me hard to give a damn and to like give them money. I just hope that doesn't happen with this. Now, I do think the fact that it is a production where Cavill is putting his own money in, and I am sure after all he's been, if I feel this way, I'm sure Henry Cavill feels a million times more kind of apprehensive, or has some concerns about that. So I'm hoping that Cavill will kind of keep sort of an eye on how that goes. I'll be honest too, I don't think Games Workshop will let them do a lot with it either, because Games Workshop has a money-making machine. It just prints money. And I know from experience that Games Workshop does not fuck around. They've had people challenge their IP. Well, they've had people challenge their place in the marketplace, and I've seen how they deal with them, which usually they sue them into non-existence. So I'm kind of hoping that what we're going to get is Warhammer 40,000, not some repurposed, re-imaged, watered down, politically correct, woke version of Warhammer 40,000. I think that would be a disaster. And I think that might finally break Henry Cavill. That might be where he just like, starts drinking out of like the wine bottle with the paper bag around it. But we're not there yet, folks. We are in a place where, this is exciting news. This is good stuff. So I wanted to share that with you from Variety. And I also wanted to share. Actually, I need to go back to this, I guess. Do I? Does this work? Okay. All right, let's see if I can do it this way. All right, I hope you guys can still see me and stuff. There we go. And now I'm waiting for this to do something. Hello? Hello? You? All right. I can't see myself, so I certainly hope that I'm still zooming here. Am I? Am I still going? I hope I'm still going. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I'm still going. Okay. So, caveman uses technology. Okay. I don't know if I can share this or not. Let me try and see. Yeah, I can. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I don't know what that's going to look like on playback. I'll check it out. And if it looks like shit, I'll just retape this. All right. This is from Instagram from a day ago. It's from Henry Cavill. It says, for 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel that I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life. Partnering with Natalie Viscuso at Vertigo has been a blessing beyond words. Without her, we might not have found the perfect home at Amazon. And having a home like Amazon will give us the freedom to be true to the massive scope of Warhammer. To all of you Warhammer fans out there, I promise to respect this IP that we love. I promise to bring you something familiar, and I endeavor to bring you something fantastic that is as of yet unseen. Our first steps are to find our filmmaker, creator, writer. Watch this space, my friends. For the Emperor! And that's Henry Cavill. And I got to tell you, I love that boy. I love that boy. I am much more excited than I am wary, because I don't think after the last few months, the last week, Henry Cavill would get himself into a position where he can get fucked over again. And that gives me lots of hope. So, which there's almost no hope in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It's actually, pretty hopeless. And everything has skulls on it. Everything. It's kind of like, I don't know, having a bed and breakfast on Apocalypse, Darkseid's home planet. Except I don't think there's like flying monkey crap on the skulls. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure in Apocalypse they have flying monkey crap on the skulls. In the Warhammer 40,000 universe, it's just everyone is miserable, and in the dark future there is only war and skulls. I don't think there's monkey crap. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about the monkey crap. All right. This has gone on entirely too long already. I just wanted to say good news. Yay, Henry Cavill won't be in like the bread line. I mean, I know the guy's a freaking millionaire. He doesn't have to do another day's work the rest of his life several times over. But when you see someone who has such passion and who loves the stuff that we love, he loves gaming, he loves science fiction and fantasy, he loves comic books. It just makes you happy when they're happy. Makes you sad when they're sad. So, fingers crossed. Heavy metal. Warhammer 40K. and I will probably do some more on this as it progresses because I think it's interesting. Fun fact: I suck at modeling. When I was a kid, I used to get like these Star Trek models and any kind of spaceship models and stuff, and I would put them together. I was so excited about that. I sucked at modeling. I sucked at painting. I tried it when I had the game store. I tried doing it again. I sucked at it then too. I think I'm going to try one more time. The other night, we were putting together a game called Core Space, which is a sci-fi minis game, and it has all this cool terrain stuff. And my friend, other David. There's Roanoke David, and there's Northern Virginia David. Roanoke David and my friend Bob, which I have. There's a Bob. I have a Richmond Bob and a Roanoke Bob. So Roanoke David and Bob were helping incompetent Rod trying to put together terrain, and I did it. I did it. It worked. So I think I might try painting. Try my hand at painting again. You know, it's funny too because the folks who do painting are like, yeah, had a rough day. I'm gonna paint. It's really relaxing, and I'm like, fuck, shit, I hate this. Ah. So, I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I just every time I go in the game store, there's all this Games Workshop stuff, and like I said, they are a beast, and their stuff looks so cool, and they have all these different factions. They have space elves, and they had just started back with space dwarves, squats. I think they're still called squats. Um, they have space orcs. They have, so they have like the fantasy universe, and then they have a science fiction universe, um, and it's just really cool. It's got a lot of neat stuff in it, and it is darkety dark, 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 dark. So it's kind of my brand. Um, anyways, so stay tuned for Rod's adventures in painting. I'm gonna show up on here with like shit all over my face and like some little 40K Space Marine like glued to my forehead, and I'll be like, "Hi, everybody! I fucking hate minis." But I'm gonna try I'm doing it for you. Doing it for you, for your entertainment. So that's all on this one. I'm gonna try to see if I can get another one in today. I still want to do a review of ISOM 1 by Eric July. I'm excited to get to do that too, and we'll get there. So, anyways, I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope this makes up for my darkety dark dark last video and bitching about all of that. So, and James Gunn, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you're not a total prick. So I guess we'll see. Hey, all right, you guys take care. I'll see you on the next video. Probably with like something glued to my forehead. Bye.